Hello, witches! It is Wednesday. Grab your goat. Hold on to your horns because it is time for the Witches Movie Coven. Yes, indeed. Bibbity boppity boop. Real witches talking about witches and witchy movies. We are glad you're here. Tell your friends, come on down, get into the chat room, and let's talk movies. My name is Patty Negri. I am one of your hosts. You might know me from Ghost Adventures or Portals to Hell or YouTube or my regular podcast, The Witching Hour, or from right here, because we've been doing this long enough that we hope you know us from here. Let me pass this on to my beautiful co-host, starting with Jason Mankey. Golden.
I am Jason Mankey, author of not 5 books, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 books, including The Horned God of the Witches, which has a big chapter about the devil in it, which is appropriate for tonight.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Richard Lale.
I am Richard Lale. Richard Lale is one name, not two names. If I were merely Richard, it'd be a... That's right. I'm known as a gentleman psychic. Used to be a psychic and a small, but I'm now a psychic and a medium because I gained some weight. That being said, I'm also on Ghost Adventures, University of Magicus. I am known here locally. I am a little bit of everywhere. I'm really easy to find. I'm everywhere. But if you would like to sleep with me, you can go right over here to join the Coven to our store, and you can get this devil pillow, which is also appropriate for tonight. You used to be able to get in Patty's panties, but those are on back order for now. But meanwhile, you can be a bro witch. You can get Patty's books. You can get Heather's books. You can get Jason's 10 books. You can get books here at mysterycontrol.com right over there. Also, make certain to hit the like, the subscribe, and we are reading those comments. It helps us to continue to give great shows for you. So we do read them. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Heather Green.
Hi, I am Heather Green, and I am the author of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft, which is a critical history of witches and witchcraft in American film and television. This is all the things you need to know about witches and witchcraft in our cinema and pop culture. I am also an author. Well, no, yes, I'm an author. I am also a journalist in the mainstream media covering things occult, as well as an editor at Llewellyn Worldwide, working with wonderful authors like some of the ones here on all kinds of great witchy topics. And I'm super excited to be here after taking a week off last week traveling.
We're very happy to have you back. Now, as you can see, Courtney is not here today. She's doing something more fun. But we are thrilled. And to celebrate regular joining us, Jenny C. Bell. And it is her birthday show. So happy birthday, Jenny. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm Jenny C. Bell, the author of Spirit Crystals and the author of Divergent Witchcraft, which come out next month. And I was a beloved substitute teacher here. We're going to see if it still remains that way and if I'm ever welcomed back after today's birthday pick. So we'll see.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Today's movie, it is called Little Nicky. It is starring Adam Sandler. It is from 2002, and hopefully you guys all watched it. We did announce it last week, but just in case you didn't watch it, Richard Lale, do you have an unbiased synopsis of this little film?
I certainly do. So I actually took the time to write something because, it is Jenny C. Bell's birthday movie, and we love Jenny C. Bell very much. And to put it in a colloquial term, I don't like to yuck someone's yum. So I'll do that later. However, the film is about Satan's 1,000-year millennial reign is up. He has to decide which of his 3 sons that he wants to leave hell to. And of course, Adam Sandler must prevent his 2 older brothers from getting the reins of hell because they are much more vindictive and vile. And he, being half angel, half devil, is a lot kinder and a lot nicer. There's a talking dog. There's a lot of stupid celebrity appearances. But before I go too far into that, that's what I'm going to say about Little Nicky. And then I'll tell you some films that I actually enjoy more than Little Nicky. At no random order. Now, they're all having to do with the devil, so there's no surprise here. One of them, Oh God, You Devil. Great film. The Witch, The Devil's Advocate, Late Night with the Devil, The Ninth Gate, The Omen, The Good Omens, Hail Satan, Hellraiser, Constantine, Blood on Satan's Claw, Rosemary's Baby, Satanic Panic, which is a recent film, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, Repossessed, Faust, The Devil's Eye, Damn Yankees, The Devil and Max Devlin, Heaven Can Wait, Madam Satan, The Devil's Brother, The Devil is a Woman, The Devil is a Sissy, Along Came the Devil, Satan's Castle, The House of the Devil, The Sorrows of Satan, The Devil's Mansion, Georges Millet, 1896, The Devil to Pay, Devil Doll, Devil Monster, Satan Met a Lady, The Devil's Holiday, The Devil's Bat, the Devil Bat, The Devil and Daniel Webster, The Devil's Cargo, The Curse of the Demon, Santa Claus versus the Devil, Dear Satan, Devil Girl from Mars, Satan in High Heels, Sympathy for the Devil, and some honorable mentions of films that I enjoy more that have to do with the devil. Legend, I know he's not really the devil. Krampus is not really the devil. The Devil Wears Prada is not really the devil. Really the devil. All of them have more to do with the devil than this movie does. And that's about it.
The devil hand.
Thank you, Richard Lael. Now that we have a complete understanding of this film, Heather, do you have 5 more things from your beautiful, educated, knowledgeable base of brain that you can tell us?
Well, not from my educated brain. This movie is not in my book because it's not specifically witchcraft, but I did do some research and I think this has some fascinating things to talk about. So we'll first mention it's directed by Stephen Brill. It is written by Adam Sandler himself, as well as Tim Hurley, who co-wrote this one along with and collaborating with Adam Sandler for a while. Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, Waterboy, a bunch of stuff. So this is a partnership. Its production budget was $80 million. Domestic box office to date, adjusted, meaning it is adjusted for inflation, is now 80 million. So it at this point, adjusted for inflation, it made back the budget. The not adjusted for inflation, meaning, this is the monies it's assumed over time, 58 million. So it's not exactly a breakout success. And a lot of people have said that this is one of the worst comedies ever made. So Jenny, I'm so sorry. It was lovely meeting you in person. But I have to bring down some truth. But, and then before I go further into number 2, it is totally fine with me to love a movie that is terrible. We all have our guilty pleasures. And you know what? If this is yours, I love it. That's awesome. So let's get to the main cast. Number 2, main cast. You have Adam Sandler, of course. At this point in time, this is a vehicle film for him. He was in his heyday. He had made Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. He had been on Saturday Night Live. He was extremely successful at this point. So this movie is just one of the many Adam Sandler vehicle films that were made at this period of time. But he has gone on to make a ton more after that. I actually don't mind films like he made one more recently called You Are So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah. That's a more recent one with his actual daughters in it. It's kind of cute, especially if you have been to bar mitzvahs or had a bar mitzvah and you kind of see what's going on there. He also was the voice of Dracula in Hotel California, which was co-written by the guy who plays the voice of the dog in this movie. So that's kind of just a little tidbit. Patricia Arquette, of course, the girlfriend. Valerie, she was known at this point for she had True Romance, Ed Wood, and a number of other films. She was pretty recognizable at this time. Harvey Keitel, there she is. Adorable. Harvey Keitel is, of course, Satan or the devil or whatever he uses his name here. Known, of course, Harvey Keitel's classic. He's a Scorsese actor. Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, everything Scorsese. He is a classically known. Reese, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right. Reese Ifans. He's Adrian. He's one of the Devil's Sons. He is a UK actor. He was in Dancing at Lunasa, Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows, Notting Hill, and he was in Spider-Man No Way Home. So he's been around, a voice and a face you might have recognized. Tommy Lister plays Cassius. He was a professional wrestler in Fifth Element. Blake Clark, he is. Blake Clark is Jimmy. That's Satan's advisor, dressed with the horns. You saw him. He's a friend. A lot of Adam Sandler's friends are in this and collaborators that he's known for a long time. Peter Dante and Logren are his two friends. Both, again, they're collaborators and friends for a long time. Michael McKean, police chief, another very familiar face for people at this time. Of course, he was Lenny on Laverne and Shirley. And also as a collaborator, Christopher Guest. So those are the sort of the more main characters we see. But number 3, I have to go to cameos, because the main characters are one thing, but the cameos are a whole nother thing. This film is filled with cameos. We were just talking about how Sinead O'Connor shows up in the one of the church scenes. I did not notice her there, but there's so many that pass by for 3 seconds. Sinead O'Connor was involved in some of the music, so they probably said, hey, sit down, show up here. So I did not actually see her. But you have Reese Witherspoon doing her Legally Blonde angel thing, his mom. Carl Weathers, my goodness, linebacker for the Oakland Raiders, but he was Apollo Creed. And a lot of other things. Very recognizable. His character was a reprise of a role that he saw in Happy Gilmore. Quentin Tarantino, that's one of my favorite characters in this, is his street preacher thing he's doing, which is pretty funny. Dana Carvey, the referee. Ellen Clegborn, a SNL actress. Globetrotter mom. Kevin Nealon. Clint, I'm not going to tell you what his name is because then we wouldn't be G-rated. There he is. Clint Howard, who is the brother of Ron Howard, the director, got his start. Rodney Dangerfield, of course, there he is. John Witherspoon, Louis Arquette, Rob Schneider, Jackie Sandler, that is his wife. She's one of the angels. So you just have numbers and numbers of people. You have Bill Walton, Dan Marino, Henry Winkler, Ozzy Osbourne, Regis Philbin, Sylvia Lopez, all playing themselves. This film is packed with cameos and familiar faces, some of those. Now, number 4, I see there's one listed up there. Number 4, I want to talk about Radio Man. There he is, Radio Man. I don't know if anyone knows about the story of Radio Man, but I had to bring it up. We've only seen Radio Man, or we've only had Radio Man in one other film, that was, let's see, Elf. He was actually an elf. Now, who is Radio Man? If you don't know who he is, he was a down and out Vietnam vet, or no, Vietnam. He was a vet. I don't know exactly where, but he was Brooklyn born. His parents left for Florida. He wound up homeless. He was a veteran. And he began drinking, became an alcoholic, lived on the streets of New York, and became fascinated with the film industry. And he would follow the signs around. He'd look for them. He'd lurk. The first time he was noticed was in 1989 when they were filming The Fisher King. And he talked to Robin Williams and said, if you're trying to play the homeless, you're not doing it right. Come, let me show you. And so Robin Williams did. And so that became, he had a little bit part. He just was there. And so from that point forward, Radio Man became like a legend in New York City film industry, where he would show up and they'd give him some kind of little bit thing where he would be a homeless person mostly, or play himself. He'd walk by. I mean, he was an extra. He didn't have a part, but he'd have it. So much so he's had 300 appearances since this period of time over in New York City. He's a legend. And he now is a SAG member, and he can pay for a small efficiency apartment in New York City. He's had help from a number of famous people who have met him. He's met tons of stars. He sells autographs. He does what he can to survive. And so there is now a documentary. I think we just had the image of that show, Radio Man documentary. It just popped up. There it is. All about Radio Man. And so he's in this. I did not catch him. And most of the time you won't catch him because it's just a flash by. But this is what he does. And in the documentary, some of the people that he knows are people like Tom Hanks. He knew Robin Williams, obviously, Meryl Streep, George Clooney, Josh Brolin, Johnny Depp. I'm reading them off. Matt Damon, James Gandolfini, Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law, Whoopi Goldberg, Helen Mirren. I mean, the list goes on of the people that he's come in contact with and who have helped him or have knowledge of him. And he's become a landmark in the New York filming industry. So it's a pretty cool little story. So check it out. Radio Man. And he is in this one. And again, the only other one that he's been in that we've reviewed is Elf. So anytime we see a New York film, though, during a period of time, Radio Man might be in it.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. I thought this was a good opportunity to talk about Radio Man. I love seeing the New York City scapes, so that was pretty cool. Lastly, number 5 is references. So we have cameos, we have references. This movie is filled with pop culture references. And if you're like me, when you hear the little Nicky, the first thing you think of is Prince. That's clearly not going on here. Old Nick, character from Twin Peaks. You start off with that. You have the music, like he says, rock you like a hurricane, then comes on. He's spinning records backwards, which is very pop culture, Chicago, etc. Of course, you have all of the cameo performances. But then there are other pieces of this where Adam Sandler wrote in definite pop culture Easter eggs. The Superman flyover, when he takes her out and flies over New York, that's Superman, the original Superman. Say Hello to My Little Friend, Scarface, the Headspin, Exorcist. They show the show Felicity, which I never watched. That's there. The Devil Baby in the Carriage, very much Rosemary's Baby. I'm Not a Monster, very similar to I'm Not an Animal, which is the Elephant Man. And I could go on and on. There are way more than this, but this is just a taste. It's like it just is a cauldron of pop culture stuff from that was present in 2000. So that's the end of my diatribe. And now we can go over to how much you guys love this movie. Oh, wait a minute. Before I even say this, I just want to say one more thing. So as I said, I am an editor. And if we're interested in, any of you are interested in magic, oh, you have it too. Magic.
Kate is a great writer. I love Kate.
She is a fantastic writer. She is actually
Brilliant.
She is my author, and we worked on this book, Magic of the Crossroads. So this is working with the devil in modern witchcraft. And I don't know who this guy is that wrote the foreword. Who is that?
Whoa, look at that.
Yeah.
I was truly, truly honored to be part of this because, my goodness, she is, I cannot recommend her book enough. Brilliant.
Yeah, so this is a great book of everything you ever wanted to know about working with the devil in modern witchcraft. Magic at the Crossroads by Kate Froehler. So that's it. Now I'm really done.
Thank you. Okay. So, Jenny, do you want to start with why you picked this movie, or?
Yes, I've been waiting 48 hours for this explanation.
Why did I do this to you? That's a great question. So I did study film in school, in college. And so I do know what makes a good film. But just like how I like really good music, I also really like New Kids on the Block. So I think we all have our guilty little pleasures that we know are bad. But I think the way to explain my love for this is 2 things. One is I heard someone once say that the Saturday Night Live cast that you watch when you're coming of age becomes your cast for your lifetime. And Adam Sandler was 90 to 95 That was prime upper elementary, middle school, early high school for me. I loved him. I loved everything about him. I had What the Hell Happened to Me, the CD. I had watched all his movies. I just like loved him. And what I like about this movie is kind of the intersection of Adam Sandler's stupid humor and heavy metal culture, because I love Ozzy Osbourne. Rest in peace, Ozzy, but love him. I'm wearing my Ozzy shirt today. But I love that because as a witch growing up in the 90s, I was very out. I wore my pentacle, and the people that always accepted me were the heavy metal kids. They were always like, "Oh, that's sick, bro." You know, like they were just so cool and accepting of everything I did. Not the hippie kids, the heavy metal kids. And so I liked that also, that kind of connection of heavy metal and witchcraft. Yeah, it's terrible, but I love the soundtrack. I love all the cameos. And the one thing I can say for Adam Sandler is his movies are pretty original. Like he's not basing them off of books. He's basing them off of juvenile middle school humor ideas. He's not copying other people. He's referencing, but and it looks like his movies are a good time. Like he gets everybody he likes, admires, every friend. And it just seems like it's got to be like a party on set. Just got to be a good time. So those are some things I feel like it has going for it. But I'm totally aware of the fact that it is so juvenile. It is so middle school humor. And I'm not going to apologize for that. That's just the way it is.
You don't need to apologize for a guilty pleasure.
No. We all
have them.
We all have
some. We just wanted some explanations. That's all, really. Yeah.
I'm going to start out with I honestly didn't mind it. I am an Adam Sandler fan as well. Always have been. He's just kind of cute and sweet. It bothered me that and again, I'm going to go with I didn't mind it, but it bothered me that I didn't like it more for some reason. He wasn't that same little charming, weird middle school guy that he is in other films for me, even though he was playing it. Maybe because the face was crooked, that maybe he didn't need that to be the weird kid, and that did something that some of that charm that he always has for me, I was just had to reach for it. I love Patricia Arquette for some reason too, and I've never thought about her much, but she was just the cutest little thing ever. I love just as charming and great. So I thought the relationships with everything, the two hanger-oner guys were hysterical. That is just their look and everything is perfect. So I really, really did enjoy the whole film. I was entertained by it. I was just bothered that I didn't love it more. Yeah, Hitler, the pineapple, all that stuff doesn't bother me. It's funny. I just wanted Adam Sandler to be a little more charming to me, the way I usually see him. But I think it was the face. I don't know. He tried too hard with the face. But I love the cameos. I love the music. I love the soundtrack. And I love the New York City vibe of it. I really love the New York City vibe of it. And hell was pretty funny. I mean, dysfunctional family. Is it hell or is it just the family next door? This whole dysfunctional thing and the brothers and all that. So that's good. He's kind of cute. Yeah.
Everyone's scared. Don't be scared. It's okay.
Jason hasn't spoken yet.
Yes, convenient.
Yeah, there's reasons. I am an Adam Sandler fan. I'm not an Adam Sandler hater. I think some of his movies are really fun. I even paid to see Don't Mess with the Zohan in a theater. I don't know anybody else other than maybe Jenny who's done that, and even she hasn't done that. But this film just doesn't work for whatever reason. On paper, it sounds like a great idea and that it should be really funny. And I think that if someone were to go back and maybe rewrite this with jokes in it, it might be a good film. But I don't know what happened because this was peak Sandler. This should have been like a brilliant idea. It should have been lots of fun. I'm with Patty. I think some of it is the choices that they made with the little Nicky character, which did not play to Adam Sandler's strengths at all. Also, they didn't do a whole lot of research. I mean, one of the princes of hell is named Adrian. Come on, like you could have at least tried. Read a book. Read a book. There are lots of names for demons, and that guy, the guy on the left, that's Zeus from the Hulk Hogan movie, No Holds Barred. He's a big scary guy, and he wasn't a big scary guy in this film. It just doesn't work. I don't want to be too mean to it because it's someone's birthday film, but it just should have been better. It should have been better.
I totally feel that. I get it. It was a test. I rewatched it with my 15-year-olds, and we do a lot of like, this movie was great in the 80s and 90s, and we watch it with her, and she's like, super offended by the use of like the R word or fat shaming or anything. And I'm like, at the end of the movie, she's like, that was a horrible movie, but I wasn't offended. It made me laugh, and I think I'd be wands up. And I was like, okay, so it at least aged okay. Like, it's super gross juvenile humor, which I guess is just universal. So I feel like it has that going for it. I think for me, it was like the whole heavy metal Ozzy thing. I was like deep into the way the movie ends. To me, I actually cried when I rewatched it because Ozzy being like dressed in white and being like angelic and saving. I was like, oh, Ozzy, because I really do like miss him, and I like really loved his music. So I had a moment there, and then I teared up again with the Chris Farley comment at the very end about him being the new dance instructor in heaven. I was like, Adam Sandler got me. But yeah, it's really poorly written.
Robert, so Heather didn't really talk about one of my favorite writers in comedy, a guy named Robert Smigel, who wrote TV Funhouse for Saturday Night Live. If you've ever heard, yes, he does the dog. If you've ever heard Christmas Time for the Jews on SNL, that's a Robert Smigel song. And I cannot get through the holidays without listening to it. But he's also Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. And if you've ever watched Triumph on Conan or anywhere else, like the one-liners just spew out of him. It's all improv. It's all made up on the spot. And then in this movie, he plays a flat, unfunny dog. Like I guess he didn't get any time to improvise. They didn't use the brilliance that is Robert Smigel at all. Like, what a wasted opportunity. Completely wasted opportunity. And Sandler knows how great Smigel is. That's why he's in the movie, because he's one of the best SNL writers of all time. Yes, for me to poop on. God, I love Triumph the Insult Comic Dog.
I don't.
So much.
I don't. You know why I don't? I'm going to tell you why I don't. I don't like the Insult Comic Dog because I met him. And yes, I was in Hollywood, and they actually called me, and they said, you do Willy Wonka. We want you and several others to play Johnny Depp characters, and then we're going to have the comic dog. And I said, okay, that's fine. Just make certain that people know that I'm not one of those street people that do this. Oh, no. It's going to, we need that. We need you, that kind of realness. And I went, okay, it's fine. But here's the thing. You can laugh about anything, but I do not appreciate jokes about PDF files. And I feel like that. So we get onto the show, and the Triumph says, nice costume for a PDF file. And I was like, that really makes me angry, because Willy Wonka is not that. And so for me, that clouded my entire view of Triumph.
I think that's completely fair for that to cloud your view of all time. Now, I am a little troubled by my love of the comic dog. Maybe it will be a little less.
Y'all.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I will tell you, though, about this movie. I'll tell you what I appreciate. Oh, Heather, I'm so sorry. Were you?
No. I was just reacting to all that. Go ahead.
What I appreciate about this movie, I do love Ozzy Osbourne. I love Ozzy. I was not friends with, but I knew Kelly. I worked with Kelly quite frequently. I met Sharon several times. Really, really lovely. I didn't get to meet Ozzy, but really, really lovely people. And of course, the music is amazing. I love the cameos, and I will say this film ain't getting no respect here. Ain't getting no respect. I tell you, last night I was having intercourse with the wife, and she rolls over and says, "Are you gay?" Ain't getting no respect. I tell you, ain't getting no respect. Love Rodney Dangerfield. Have to love.
Yeah, it was fun to see Rodney Dangerfield. I haven't thought about him or seen him anything a long time doing classic Rodney Dangerfield. That was really fun. I like that. And again, and I too loved Ozzy. I was not expecting Ozzy in the movie, and that made me really sweet and happy.
I guess it's my turn
Yeah.
to give my opinion.
Yeah.
So first of all, y'all know that I don't like talking animals in movies. I do not want anything to do with Triumph the dog or this dog or any dog. And the only animal that I am okay with is Toonces the driving cat. Outside of Toonces, I'm not interested in any of this. So
What about the talking goat in Wicked?
that's different.
You had to have liked that.
That's different. That's wicked.
Also, what about the cowardly lion? Clearly, that is a lion.
That was a person in an animal costume. That is not
it was a lion. It's what a lion looks like in Oz, Heather.
This is we're just leave Wicked alone. Outside of it, in the 90s, I do not like talking animals. I would much prefer not to have this dog talking. So besides that, that's not the problem I have with this movie, is that I respect Adam Sandler. I respect it's like other comedians that I know are really good comedians and very talented in what they do, but the comedy just is not something that makes me laugh. And that is something, comedy is a very personal thing. Things make people laugh, things don't make people laugh. And Adam Sandler has never made me laugh. There are movies that I don't mind him in. There's movies that like I said, it was kind of fun to watch when he does more serious stuff more recently, where he's fine. But during that period of time, again, I was similar to you, that he was part of my coming of age cast, I guess. He was in that 90s era. But my SNL cast, my favorite SNL cast was the original cast. I used to watch those over and over and over again. I used to love to watch those old stuff, or I'd watch Eddie Murphy, which is a later cast, or I've watched, certain people, but that didn't ring true for me. Adam Sandler, I don't like his movies. I don't laugh at his movies. And I actually almost, I think my partner and I almost broke up over this the other day when because he loves Adam Sandler. But we bonded back. I said, we still have Will Ferrell, don't we? Yes, we still have, because Will Ferrell is, so I can take the middle school humor, but it's just for some reason, Adam Sandler and a couple other comedians that will remain nameless because I will be yelled at here, that I do not find funny. And I respect Adam Sandler, like what he's doing, get it. The cameos were fun to pick out. It became an Easter egg for me. I'm like, who's next? Who's that? Who's that? So that was super fun. But I agree. I think it could have been better. It's got a really novel premise. But I don't know. It was just not. But here's the other thing I'm gonna say is that sometimes when we see a movie when we're of a certain age and it's linked to a certain period of time, and it means it's kind of like a fun time and it's a fun memory. You just love it because of that time, and the nostalgia becomes part of it. So yeah. So I totally get why you would like this movie.
I hated it. I'm going to just say it. I hated it.
You could have told us. We really didn't get that in your summary. I thought you loved it.
Jenny, though, you'd never know with this man.
That's also
like
true.
He can trash a movie for 40 minutes, and at the end, wands up, wands down, and all of a sudden, he's like, wands up, and you're like, oh, I have lost my ally.
I did not like this movie because I thought I'm not a fan of Adam Sandler's work. I've like Heather, I never enjoyed his comedy. I never thought he was funny. That goes along, some of the other SNL cast. I can't remember his name, but he's in the news a lot now because now he wears the red hat, whatever his name
Rob
is.
Schneider.
Rob
Rob
Yeah,
Schneider.
that one.
He's in this movie.
He's in this movie. I just never found the humor funny, and I could not stand this whiny, nasally, deviated septum voice and that weird twisted face he was making. I thought it was insulting. I really thought it was
Yes.
insulting.
Yeah.
But I will say about the set, the Hell set was so good that Ozzy wanted the set designers to build his set for his tour. So there is a little something.
I like
And-
the outfits too. Like the sons all get those cool jackets, especially Adrian. He has like the flame jacket and the red velvet jacket. I'm like, I would wear anything Adrian has on in this movie.
The outfits were great, and the mustachioed man with the pineapple was hilarious. That's hilarious. That will never not be funny.
I think Quentin Tarantino would like I loved Quentin Tarantino's little bits, like him doing the street preacher thing. That was the best part for me. I'm like, oh, when's he going to show up again screaming, doing the street preacher New York thing? He falls down into the subway. That was funny.
I will agree with Richard Lale. I thought this movie looked good most of the way through, especially Hell. I liked seeing it shot in New York City. And I was surprised, this was an $80 million budget, which is a lot for a comedy, especially at the time. And they did use some of that money for some good things. Apparently not like a punch-up script writer, but apparently for some good things with the look of the film. Though I guess the sucking the soul out part, or the sucking the soul into the flask, those special effects did not hold up very well.
One of the things that filming in New York is interesting because it is very expensive to film on the streets in New York. So a lot of the budget, I don't know how much percentage wise, but a good portion of the budget, a good number went to actually being able to film on the streets in New York. When I was working in the industry in New York City, it was often less expensive for us to film New York scenes on sound stages in other parts of the country than actually film in the city we were in, actually physically in, just to get permits and everything. So filming on the streets in New York, which was, I love seeing my home city and seeing all that. But filming can be very expensive in New York City. So that's definitely part of the budget run up.
I love that he was always cold, just because I am always cold. And I think I'm going to go with a new style, a new look versus my thing, that 48 layers of puff jackets might work for me. I thought that was just a weird little great thing. He's so used to Hell, and New York's cold.
I thought of you when he said that, and he was sleeping on the radiator.
He said, yeah, sleeping on the radiator. And I loved his devil snoring, and the roommate was cute. I thought some of the people really developed their little characters really lovely.
Yeah, and I told my daughter I feel like it's a bit of a coming of age story. There's like that little love story between him and Patricia Arquette when they fly over the city that's like so unexpected and strange, but like endearing. And I'm like, this part's so cute. Like I tell her and she looks at me like, what? And then we watch and she's like, oh yeah, I guess it is kind of cute. Like she was like, it was strange, but it was cute. I'm curious, like, because this movie has that heavy metal connection with witchcraft. I'm just curious about what you have experienced or thoughts on that, on the heavy metal scene, the connection to witchcraft, because so many heavy metal album covers will feature like a goat or a pentagram, and just kind of like interested in thoughts on that.
There's an entire book on that. I don't know, Jason, have you read the book, How the Occult Saved Rock and Roll?
I've read every occult book about rock and roll. And sometimes at pagan festivals, I do workshops on Led Zeppelin and the occult and heavy metal and the occult. I would argue that most of the occult trappings that we see in heavy metal are cosmetic because they sell albums, and that most people
Sure.
who have done heavy metal are not actual practitioners. Ozzy, especially, is a very good example of this. Never really interested in the occult, though Geezer Butler, the bass player of Black Sabbath, was interested in the occult. To Ozzy's credit, when he was in Black Sabbath, he did not write a whole lot of lyrics to songs. That was all Geezer, but he did write the lyrics to the song Black Sabbath, which sounds incredibly terrifying and devilish, but really it's an ode not to mess with the devil, which is what a lot of these songs are. The whole idea that there was a whole lot of the devil in heavy metal was really kind of taken over the top, though there are actual practitioners of Satanism. The first was King Diamond from Norway, I think, in the mid 80s in the band Merciful Fate. The lead singer of Ghost has said he is a practicing Satanist, but it might be more in that sort of I'm a Satanist, I'm an atheist sort of way. So you do see it now and again, but I think the trappings are mostly cosmetic, but are fun. But I love them and are fun, and I think they're fun.
Years ago, I encountered a musical, and I wish I could remember the name of it. I can't. But basically, the devil has come on board. And he sort of runs this gang, and where he is strictly classical music, his best friend is heavy metal, and then they try to work against the country western genre. Like they're all sort of like these warring tribes of people. And the funny thing is that I'm not really into heavy metal, but I really love classical music. And sometimes when you play classical music in heavy metal, it absolutely works. Or when you play heavy metal in classical, it absolutely works because it's the same riffs. If you think of Bach, if you think of Tommasino Albione, it's that very heavy, or even something a little lighter, Pachelbel. When you think of Pachelbel, some of those same riffs hit in certain heavy metal songs. It's really quite impressive the way that those two genres you would think are so polar opposite are actually linked together.
I really love symphonic heavy metal. You've got the guitar, and then in the background the symphony sound and stuff. And if it's a band like Nightwish or Within Temptation, there's a great woman as lead vocalist who does not grunt but can actually sing. Tarja, who was the original lead singer of Nightwish, sounded like an opera singer almost all the way through. It's really impressive stuff. I love that music so very, very much.
Mm-hmm.
I like the tangents tonight. This has been really fun.
This has been really fun.
Oh no, I was going to say the other link here is the Satanic Panic with heavy metal, and you can see that here, which I thought was really interesting, as the two characters very much felt like the two friends felt like a throwback to the 1980s, like they were out of place in 2000. That fascination with heavy metal and the occult was really an 80s thing more than a 2000s thing, even though it's obviously a legacy. But it really felt like that, and that maybe Sandler brought that in as part of his own heritage legacy interests. But it was very much a part of the growth of the Satanic Panic and the interest in Satanism. And of course, heavy metal picks up on that as part of the way to reject normative culture. So I think there's a link. It's fascinating, really.
Thank you. Does anyone have any quotes from this film? No, Courtney, no quotes.
All of them have bad words, but I will say, so lately I've been watching movies with, like, rewatching them with my daughter, and we'll watch something and then she'll look at me and realize that that's like something I've been saying her whole childhood. So for instance, when they would like try, because my kids are very picky eaters, I'm like, all you have to do is take a bite, chew it up, and let it slide down your throat hole. That's all I need you to do. And they would just think I was being unhinged. And then I was. But then she looked at me and she's like, that whole time I was little Nicky? It's like, yeah, it's good parenting advice. Come on.
That's brilliant. That's funny.
How much did Popeyes pay to be
That's
in
what she
this
asked.
movie.
Seriously.
I mean,
Yeah.
this was really Popeyes presents Little Nicky, I think, more than anything else.
More than anything. It made me want
Yeah.
chicken, fried chicken, and I never eat
Did.
fried chicken. Completely.
And in fairness, Popeyes fried chicken is pretty good. I don't know if it's that good when you could get New York pizza instead, but it is pretty good.
Pretty good.
Right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, or Nathan's hot dog.
There was very
Tasty
few
stuff.
Popeyes chickens when I was growing up anywhere in New York City. If you're in New York City, you're getting pizza or you're getting bagels or you're getting a street hot dog or you're getting a street pretzel
Or falafel.
or you're or what?
Falafel.
Falafel or something. You're not getting Popeyes chicken. I don't ever remember Popeyes chicken
Me
growing
neither.
up. But so that was this was 2000. I was already in Atlanta. Maybe they took over the city. I don't know.
They didn't.
But now they will.
They're all over here. You have fried chicken places all over this area in Atlanta, but New York, not so much.
We have one right on Hollywood Boulevard, Popeye's Chicken, Hollywood Boulevard.
Love
I've
that
never been
chicken
there.
from Popeyes.
So anyway, well, Jason, did we discuss everything we have to discuss? And if so,
No.
Jason, no?
No, we did not discuss everything that we need to discuss tonight because while I am not Heather Green, though we do get mistaken for each other periodically, I too have 5 things to tell you about this movie. Yes, these are things that Heather did not tell you about this film that I know from my own personal research and from my great and keen observational mind, things that I picked up while watching Little Nicky. Number 1, Little Nicky as a movie is zen as hell. I know that's not what you were expecting because I haven't been particularly nice to this film tonight, but that was all a Richard Lale-like ruse. This movie is zen. You are all probably familiar with zen phrases such as, "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" While watching Little Nicky, I came up with a few questions of my own to ponder. Here they are for you. Is a comedy truly a comedy if it doesn't make you laugh? Are gay jokes ever really funny? No, especially when they are told by straight white guys. If laughter is the best medicine, Little Nicky is the disease. Are ableist jokes ever funny? No, they are not. If a drama is defined by a lack of laughter, is Little Nicky the greatest film ever made? Just things to think about. I think they are things to think about. Number 2 on 5 other things you need to know about this movie. Little Nicky's runtime is just under 90 minutes. Here is a list of things you can do in 90 minutes that are more fun than watching Little Nicky. You could read, take a nap, go to a funeral, scrub your bathroom floor, including all around and behind your toilet. You know the spots where people pee and pretend that they don't. You could clean out your outdoor garbage can. You could prepare and eat British food. And British food, as we all know, is essentially nothing but boiled filter organs. You could push a boulder up a hill, build some IKEA furniture, eat at Arby's. Oh, God. And finally, you could scrub your cat's litter box with your toothbrush and then brush your teeth. Really, pretty much anything is better than watching Little Nicky. Now, Heather didn't tell you this. This is my 3rd thing. There is a curse that surrounds the film Little Nicky. I noticed it while watching, thinking about the careers of the people in the film and other things, but I also asked some of my Satanist friends about the curse and if that was really real. And one of them told me that the devil saw some of the dailies from the film Little Nicky, and then he instantly spat out a curse upon the film. And as I said, there's a lot of evidence that this actually happened. I'm going to go down through a few of the people who are actors and actresses in this film and tell you what happened to them and the curse that is on them. First of all, Adam Sandler. He will never win an Oscar or even be nominated for an Oscar. And also, he must continue to suffer from being Adam Sandler. Harvey Keitel, who played the devil, he's still alive. I know you're surprised by that, and he's been reduced only to voiceover work and pretty much forgotten by everybody. He's more like Harvey Beitel. Patricia Arquette. She's a great award-winning actress, but she's forever cursed to have little Nicky listed on her filmography. Rodney Dangerfield, one of my favorite comedians growing up. He died just 3 years after this movie's released. Tommy Lister Jr., the big buff brother, he died 17 years after this movie's release. And Ozzy Osbourne died 25 years after this movie's release. These cannot be coincidences. These can only be the curse of the movie Little Nicky. Bringing me to Rob Schneider, whose career is now dead. A once okay Saturday Night Live performer, reduced to playing bingo halls for MAGA diehards, and even those guys walk out early. That's how bad it is. And finally, Peter Dante, who played one of the metal stoner guys. He was caught saying racist nonsense a few years ago, and now he can't even get a job opening for Rob Schneider. That is bad. As I said, if you are looking for a curse, it's clearly there. You cannot convince me otherwise. Thing about this movie number 4. On Amazon yesterday, this movie cost me $3.99 to rent or $2.99 to buy. You better believe I just rented it. In another 17 hours, all evidence that I sat through all of this movie will be erased. Hopefully, the shame I currently feel for having watched the movie will one day be erased as well. And the 5th thing that we need to talk about when it comes to this movie, and we already know this, but tonight is Jenny C. Bell's birthday. Happy birthday again, Jenny. You are awesome. I really do like you. Over the last 6 months or so that you've been on our show, I found you to be a fabulous witch. I also follow you on Instagram now, and I don't just scroll, I actually listen to what you have to say. You're just a welcome addition to the Coven, but I want you to know that tonight will be your last show with us.
I knew it.
Anyone who would make me and those I watched Little Nicky just not Coven material.
Yeah,
Jenny, I'm really sorry it had to end this way, but clearly this was your own doing. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the Witches Movie Coven wishes you well in your future endeavors. Please enjoy your VHS copy of Ouija Shark and the glossy 8x10 photo of the Killing Tree, signed by the Killing Tree himself, Clayton, as your departure gifts. Now, everyone, wave goodbye at Jenny as our producer, Rob, shuts down her window.
Waiting.
Oh my God.
It's not happening. Not happening yet. I guess I have to see it through. Oh, well, I want to know now, what's everybody else's terrible movie that they love?
Oh, easy. Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh, that's right. You told me about that.
Or actually, another one that is even more embarrassing is Coyote Ugly.
Okay.
Don't even. That comes on. I can't turn it off.
Bewitched.
Oh.
I love Bewitched.
Oh.
Not the TV show. She's talking about the movie.
Oh, I've never seen the movie.
Oh,
be glad.
No, I'm gonna watch it now. No, I have to.
It's Will Ferrell, but not in a good way.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Bewitched.
My worst.
Pause.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
My worst is Club Lingerie.
Is that the one you're in?
I actually don't watch that. I've never watched that movie. But my worst is actually The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. That's my. But I have to mention Club Lingerie because I am in that movie. And it's
Venom.
awful. It's awful.
For me, it's Venom. I love superhero movies. Venom is a terrible superhero
Terrible
movie,
movie.
but
It
it
is
is
a terrible
so over the top terrible that it's like a negative times a negative and it becomes a positive.
I get that. I totally
Yeah.
get that. I didn't like Venom, but I do love Godzilla movies and King Kong movies, so I totally understand how that could be a thing.
Yes. And what am I saying about taste? I'm going to see Mortal Kombat 2 this weekend. You know, I can't talk about anything.
All right. On that note, it is time for us to vote on this film, good, bad, or indifferent. Grab your wand, and that means all of you in the chat room, wands up or wands down.
I was really counting on Courtney being here. I thought maybe there was a chance she might like it.
You were hoping to get hexed.
Okay, we got down, 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 up, and up. And mine is more, I was going to do a 3/4 up neutral, but I'm going higher up just because I love Jenny and I didn't mind it. And I didn't mind it. So, okay, all you guys out there, let us know. Wands up, wands down. Also, I want to thank our Equal Coven member, Tabitha, who runs our little chat room for us and comments and keeps us going. So, wands up, horns up. Okay, up, wands up. I agree with the birthday comments. Okay. I think they're on your side, Jenny. I think they're on our side.
They're generous. They're generous today.
One almost up with Tabitha, like me. It's getting up as we go down on Mary Jane. I think all right. Well, you guys, it's a little bit mixed, but it's up more ups than we thought it was going to be. But we have three very strong downs. More pineapple. Someone's all right. Do we know what movie we are watching next week?
We are watching Chocolat with Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay.
So something a little different, perhaps.
Very different.
Very different. Yeah, that should be fun.
But it's been forever.
It's been forever for me too to seen that.
Very long.
I really like Johnny Depp in Chocolat. I mean, Charlie and the Chocolat Factory. That's another one of my guilty pleasures that everyone else hates.
I love that movie. I wasn't on for that one, but I would have defended you because I love his teeth.
I loved it. I love
his teeth in that movie. They're so big and beautiful and outrageous, and that makes the whole movie for me is the big teeth. I have to say.
Thank you. All right. So we got ups, we got downs. We got a whole new, very, very different movie for next week. In the last couple of seconds, does anybody have anything coming up in this next week or two they want to talk about?
I do not.
I
am finally grounded and not going anywhere after many wonderful days. And I just want to say happy birthday, Jenny. I didn't say it to you in person. I got the pleasure of seeing you in person last week, which was really amazing at Spirit Northwest. So that was really great. But I am actually personally taking a little bit of a break and spending time here in Atlanta for a little bit.
Nice.
Until Mystic South in July.
Well, my next up, I'm going to be at Pennhurst Paracon, which is the big daddy of all the Paracons on the weekend of the 14th, 15th, 16th. I'm gonna have lots of merch. I'm doing all 2 or 3 nights of Celebrity Ghost Hunt. I'm on a panel with Jay Wasley, also from Ghost Adventures. And everybody, if anybody goes to this. So if you want to get too hot in the day and too cold at night and be outdoors in the weather, join me in Paracon because it's fabulous. Pennhurst Paracon. Check that out. Buy our books, follow us on social media, check out Llewellyn because we're all on Llewellyn, and join the Coven. Go to Mystery Control. Again, you can get your very own Black Phillip because we want to see your Black Phillip. You can get Black Phillip or Bling Phillip. We have many, many versions of Black Phillip. So you guys check it. It is that time. We have one more thing to do, and that we always do. I was going to have us do it like Adam Sandler, but I won't.
No.
It's time to cackle. 1, 2, 3.